Do you feel alive? Do you feel ready to go?
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel alive.
Good.
You know, we're doing a daytime cast.
It feels
So
a
it
little
looks-
weird.
If
Does
you're
it feel
watching,
weird?
it might look good. No, I mean, it doesn't feel weird. I feel like alive. But
Sure.
the lighting was weird because it's like, hey, the
We're not
sun
used to this.
is here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's like blankets all over the windows.
but that's okay because it's
We're
a
gonna look
podcast.
like creeps.
So
From the outside in, I'm sure we look like they're like, what are they doing in there? Which I do love. I think they
I'm just like,
constantly do
no,
that.
stop, no more light in this place. Soon I just black all the windows
Uh-huh.
out.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 12th installment of Favorite Cheese. Doesn't that sound so really? It sounded good.
It sounded great. Yeah.
Right?
You put some stank on
I
it.
really did. On this episode, we're talking about not only our hilarious celebrity run-ins, all the things we camembert, like certain things not going our way and how you deal with disappointment.
Yes.
Also, we get to hear about one of Delman's amazing vacations to the missions in California.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the highlights of my childhood.
And why he can't stand small talk.
Yes.
Join us, will you?
I was like talking to my therapist about the podcast and something came up and she's like, wait, so it's a video podcast?
She's an older woman, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, well, I thought it was a radio thing. And I'm like, ma'am, this has nothing to do with
Also, that's not what the conversation is about.
Yeah, exactly.
Focus on my anxiety that I'm presenting to you.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
And
You
it's a
threw me off
video?
with the
Okay.
video.
Yeah.
No, she
I'm
might.
like, there's an option. So if you're just listening and you're like, wait,
Hey.
there's a video option, there is. We post it on Lee's YouTube. And so if you want to watch it, we're
it's always
here.
a good time. You're
Yeah.
going to see a lot of dogs.
A lot of
circling
dogs, a lot of
like,
faces.
A lot of faces, a lot of dogs. I talked about diving really hard into the A Court of Thorn and Roses,
yes.
right? Which is, if you didn't listen, it's like a fantasy novel series with a female heroine that also happens to have a pretty hefty smut attachment to it.
Mm-hmm.
All written from both angles very well. In my opinion, I haven't gotten into the third books, but apparently it gets bad shit crazy.
Yeah.
But some person reached out online and they were like, hey, Lee, I know you're a Harry Potter fan. Have you dived into Manacled? And I was like,
What is that?
hold up.
Okay.
Hold up.
Okay.
Manacled is I think it started on Wattpad.
What
Bringing
is
it back to Wattpad. It started on Wattpad, and it's a fanfic
Okay.
of Hermione and Draco.
Okay.
Hermione, I think is what it's called. And it's like,
Hermaico.
it's Jamaica. Yeah, what is it? Hermaico?
Yeah.
Hermaico or Hermione, but I think Hermione.
Yeah.
And it's like a very detailed like fanfic of that world. Whoever's writing it does it very well because they do it in like the same tone as J.K. Rowling.
Okay.
And like, it's like, I'm not kidding. It's very spicy about
Wow.
Hermione and Draco. And I just want to thank the person that pointed it out to me because this is a new world opened up. And I would have never found that. I like Googled it and then I go like, there's a subset of women and there's like all these posts and they're like, you have to start at this chapter. And then like some people have taken that Wattpad. I mean, really, some people have taken that story and then done their own fan fiction based solely off of Manacled, which is a really weird look.
I'm out.
It's like it's the classic trope of like enemies to lovers. That's like a classic
Where does
trope.
this veer off the book one and then it's like, or like when do they meet?
No, it's like the war's over. Harry's dead.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Look, I got a lot of things. I got a lot of catching up
dark.
to do.
Yeah,
but I just want to say, look, this is one of the reasons I love the internet. Thank you for reaching out.
They're both retired, and they're like,
well,
there's no one else.
Yeah. Well, here he is.
Yeah.
No, I just want to say
I'm nice
thank you.
now.
No, he's not.
Oh.
He's a bad guy.
Yeah.
But
it's
everyone
a
loves
sexy
a bad
bad
boy.
guy. Yeah.
Exactly. So
He's a nice guy. I met him once.
Mr. Felton?
Yeah. My friend and I, we were at this bar, and this nice British guy comes out. He's wearing a hat, and he's just talking to us. And we're just talking about nothing, and he kind of he joins the conversation. He's a nice guy, and we have a British friend, so we're like, cool, man. We know British people. Like, come, hey British
sir,
guy.
I have a British friend.
Yeah.
So
and he's like, so what do you guys
welcome.
do? And we're like, oh, and like we didn't say what we did really. I said I was like a web designer because in my mind I was like, I don't want to get into it.
You
like,
hate saying actor. Everyone
I don't always do, but sometimes when you're at a bar, you're like, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to tell you my resume. It's not that impressive yet, unless you like love commercials, you know, like
unless you're obsessed with commercials.
Yeah, so it's like I just want to be a person, you know. So I was just like, yeah, I do web development and some other stuff. He's like, oh, awesome, mate. I'm like, you? And he's like, yeah, this and that. And so we were in, you know. He gave me the this and that.
He didn't say I was in one of the largest movie franchises of all time.
Because we didn't recognize him at all. Sure. And then he was like, okay, cool. And then we just talking. My commercial came on, and we were at Barney's, and he saw it, and he's like, oh, and I was like, yeah, I do commercials. I didn't want to do, yeah. And then that's
like, great.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's when I was like, oh, cool. This guy saw I was an actor. That's the best way to do it, because when the work can show up, and then you're like, see, I do it. And then he was like, wow, pretty cool. And then he was like, I was just in Botswana, and you and I were staying in London at my friend Kenny's house, who was in Botswana. And I was like, dude, my friend Kenny's British. He's been to Botswana. He's
also in Botswana.
Yeah. And I was like, do you know him? And he's like, Kenny. And then I told him, and he's like, oh my gosh. And I showed him, and he knew my friend. He's like, we were working on a film together. And I'm like, yeah, Kenny was working on a film. He's like, yeah, I was in the film. I was like, okay, you're an actor too? And then he's like, yeah, and we had this, like, we got each other. It was like a really good moment.
Each other.
And then he was like, we need to take a picture together and send it to Kenny. And I'm like, great.
You do. Where is that picture of you and Tom
Me and my friend Tom took a picture together, and he sends it to Kenny. I can find it. And then Kenny types back like, oh my goodness, like, small world. And I'm like, whoa, that was kind of a big reaction from Kenny. But anyways, so we hang out with this guy, Tom. He's a cool guy. He gets some rounds. We get rounds. We're hanging out.
Nice.
And then it's a nice goodbye. We share numbers, and he's like, dude, let's hang out again. I'm like, dude, we're going to hang out, Tom. And so I come home, and I tell you all about him. I'm like, dude, and he's an actor, and he knew Kenny, and he was in Botswana, and he made us take this picture, and I show you the picture, and you're like, what the? And you like zoom in, and you're like, that is Tom Felton. I'm like, yeah, he's my friend. And you're like, no, he's not just your friend. He's Draco Malfoy. And I'm like, and I had not seen the movies, and I'm like, oh yeah. No, but he's my friend Tom, though. Like, and
you were ready to go. You were like, yeah, that's my friend Tom.
And so we hung out. He's a super nice guy, obviously. Yeah. He was hilarious. And I think the reason it worked and we had a good night is because neither of us knew or cared. And and so we had a good time. But then you were like, can you invite him to our Christmas party? And I'm like, you do not get to meet
Malfoy to our Christmas party.
You do not get to meet my friend Tom. You are going to ruin this.
I wouldn't ruin it. I might ruin it. I might. You know, I'm bad with like meeting fancy people. I'm really bad with it. I either blurt out weird stuff or I'm like,
your story of meeting Tom Hanks in the wild is like my favorite.
He was doing jury duty, and I had thought a million times about like what I would see to him. He's doing jury duty the same week I was doing jury duty. Because he's a good guy. He's a good guy. So he's like, I'm doing my civic duty. And I was like, me too, Tom Hanks.
Imagine like getting jury duty. You're like, worst day of my life. You sit in traffic, you go to the downtown, you open, and it's like, is that Tom Hanks?
Is that Tom Hanks? So he did. He was doing jury duty the same week I was. And I kept thinking that's so weird because I kept seeing it in papers and everyone's like, isn't this crazy, this guy? And then I parked right next to him, and I like literally got out of my car, and he was right there, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then I thought in my head, I was like, this is what I would say to him if I ever met him. Like, there's a scene in Money Pit where he's so funny, and he is so like crazy and hilarious that like my dad laughed so hard, and that was one of the moments that I was like, I have to be an actor to make someone, if not my dad, if not anyone, laugh this hard. And wow, how inspiring, because it was so funny, and I'd never seen anything so funny. And then I just went up to him and I was like, Tom, Hanks, I love everything you've ever done. And he's like, oh, thank you. You're so sweet. Thank you so much. And I was like, yeah. And then we proceeded to walk.
You were in like an elevator?
We were in an elevator. We walked up an escalator. We walked in an elevator together. We walked 6 city blocks in dead silence.
Right next to you the whole time.
And he tried so hard.
Yeah.
He literally was like, Indian summer, they say. And I'm like,
okay.
And then he's like, wild weather. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, the glare off that building. And there's like a million things in my head that I'm like, I should ask him about his
like,
favorite this.
Really
I should
trying
tell
to
him.
talk to you.
And I was like, I should tell him about that money pit scene. And then like we're walking past Walt Disney Building, and I was like, I should ask him what it was like to be Walt Disney. And like all these different things. And he's trying so hard to talk to me. He's trying so hard to talk to me. And I'm literally like, I'm just gobbling at him. And then literally at the, like, he stops where I need to leave. And he's like, well, have a good day. And I was like, you too, Tom Hanks.
You too, Tom Hanks. Have a good day, Tom Hanks.
And he's like,
all right. And I love, like, he went in there and everyone's like applauding, and it's like he's the whole thing.
Apparently they had to get rid of like the entire case. They had to call a mistrial on it because one of the lawyers talked to Tom Hanks, like could not talk to Tom Hanks.
And they're like, why are you doing this? He's like, just doing my civic duty.
And they're like, get out of here. You caused a mistrial, you psycho. Now it's like also really weird. Like I went to like theater arts camp with Zac Efron for a really long time.
You have like pictures with him.
I have pictures like smooching on him. It's like ridiculous. Like
that's crazy.
I know, but I have all those different weird things. But the people that care the most are like my North Carolina family that are like, who have you met that's famous?
Oh yeah.
And you're like a bunch of people. And
yeah,
like,
we were just.
But who was the nicest?
Yeah, we were just at a baby shower, and this very nice aunt of our friend was asking me all my celebrity stories. You know,
yeah, they're always like, "Who do you know? Who's the nicest?"
Yeah.
I always like doing a shocking one. I always like being like, Shaquille O'Neal is one of the nicest humans I've ever met.
I could see that.
Channing Tatum was an absolute dream.
Oh,
Jenna Dewan Tatum was not nice. They're
like, oh,
Zoe Saldana is the most beautiful.
The one I
I've
always tell
seen.
people is like when Kaylee Cuoco was like the craziest, most diva-y, crazy story ever.
Was the
meanest, most horrible.
You've worked with a lot of very famous people in commercials.
Yeah,
and you said she was the meanest one.
And even if it was a bad day, this was behavior like I would never do. To the point where I got cast by the same director in another commercial, and he brought that story up.
He did. And, he was like, "Remember that?"
And
crazy...
we can talk about it another time. But that's always when I drop in. People are like, oh, like they're
like so sad,
let down. They're like, she was.
But she seems so nice.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's called acting.
Yeah, she's a monster.
I remember when the Ellen stuff came out, I had seen a few live tapings of Ellen because my friends used to work on the show, and if she was gonna give out like a crazy prize, they'd be like, just come sit in the audience.
Get a juicer. Just get a juicer.
Yeah. And I'm like, all right. So I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, hey, Steve Carell's pretty funny. That's cool to see him. And then I get like $300 gift certificate.
Sure.
So it was great.
Dream.
But I did remember thinking it was so odd that like she would do like the dance or whatever for like 2 seconds. Like some guy, we're dancing with like a warm-up guy, and then she does it for 2 seconds, and then literally every time they yell cut in between, her face just drops and she just gets she's like yelling at I was just like, that's weird. Like
we have friends that have like worked on like shows and gotten Emmys with her.
Oh
and
yeah.
Been like, I don't ever want to talk about my time with Ellen.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. Sorry.
The guy was too embarrassed to even put on his resume he had an Emmy because of how traumatic
it
was.
I don't ever want to bring it up. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Anyway. Seems like a really great life.
yeah.
Seems like a really good time. Okay. You too, Tom Hanks.
My Tom Hanks story was with Danny DeVito.
None of that makes sense. What did you?
My Tom Hanks story was
where you felt like a real Google gobble.
Yeah. Was with Danny DeVito. I was holding a boom mic on this documentary called "Who Killed the Electric Car," and I was helping my friend. My friends filmed it, and I was just holding the boom, and we were going Boom guy. And we were going to Danny DeVito's house to interview him because
Sure.
he's a big advocate of electric cars or whatever. And it was like a dream come true. Like Real Perlman makes us coffee.
So sweet.
And like I'm drinking out of like the Tonight Show mug, you
gotta
know,
do
and
it.
it's like the whole thing. And it's like Carla is bringing, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Right? And they're the friendliest people you've ever met. And then they're like, all right, Danny's going to come in now, you know, get ready. And he comes in and he introduces himself to each one of us.
Very nice
And
man.
yeah, no, very nice. And he introduces himself to me, and I have that weird like dilemma because obviously I have too much anxiety, and so I'm like,
Yes.
do I tell him my name is Delman because that's what my friends call me, or do I tell him my name is Andrew because it's gonna be really confusing if everyone's calling me Delman and I just say
Gotta just say Delman. You gotta just say
but
Delman.
I'm like, but if I say Andrew Delman, hi, my name is Andrew Delman. A lot of my friends call me Delman. You can call me whatever you like, Danny DeVito. Like that's kind of what's going through my head. Long story short, he's like, my name's Danny DeVito. And I just like, hi, Danny DeVito. I'm Delman. And then he's like,
This guy.
yeah. And he's like, well, all right, Delman. And then he like moves on. But he's like such a nice guy. And somehow I
Hi,
said something
Danny DeVito.
and he like remembered. And like I said something funny.
Yeah.
And he's like, Delman gets it. And then he just kept coming back to me and he didn't forget my name.
Little angel.
And I was just like, I left being like, I love you, Danny DeVito. Like
I'm a forever fan, Danny.
yeah. And I'm like, if I ever have the power to cast
Daniel
Danny
DeVito.
and I mean, you know, always sunny in
he's a
all
treasure.
his work.
He's
and,
a treasure.
But I will say, nicest, him and his wife and his daughter. I've met his daughter too. They're all the nice. It's the nicest family in Hollywood, the DeVitos.
This is wow, bold.
Yeah.
I love that.
They're very,
the
very
nicest family in Hollywood.
No, they're just awesome.
The DeVitos.
They should have their own reality show. I'd watch it.
Well, then they wouldn't be the nicest
Yeah,
family in
yeah,
Hollywood.
yeah.
Then that would
Yeah,
ruin them somehow.
Yeah.
I love that we got to talk some trash on celebrities. We didn't really, did
There was
we?
not really
We're
much
not gonna
trash
this
except
is
for
my
the
only
Kaylee
concern,
Cuoco shade.
the Illuminati.
What about
you
them?
know? I don't know.
What?
They're gonna come after us.
Why would they come
This
after
is-
us except to cast us? We need some
Kaylee
podcasters.
Cuoco's like, I'm
She's
huge
not in it.
in the. You don't
She's
think
not
so?
in it. No.
She had the Big Bang Theory.
She not in it.
Yeah.
You know what? I know a lot about the Illuminati, and a lot of these people that people are like they're in the Illuminati, they're not in it. By the rules alone, they're not in it.
By the rules alone.
Beyonce's not in it.
Beyonce is the
No,
Illuminati.
she's her
Jeez.
own Illuminati, but she's not in the Illuminati. She's not.
She's her own Illuminati.
She has her own
Of course,
power.
you know what? She would be.
Yeah,
God, she's so talented.
yeah, exactly.
Of course, she would
She's
be the
her
person that would
own
have her
thing.
own Illuminati.
Yeah, exactly.
She doesn't need to fall
There
into
are
anyone's
multiple
rules.
Illuminatis
She
right
is
now.
her own goddess
And they
in
meet
the
up
universe.
at the Illuminati Naughty party. You're so mad at that. They get weird. You seen Eyes Wide Shut?
Okay, you know what? We gotta cut. We gotta cut.
We're not cutting.
We're not cutting.
No.
No.
All right.
Eyes Wide Shut is my 26th favorite Christmas movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah. It's on the list.
Wow. Okay.
It's technically Christmas themed. You gotta
Sure.
shake it up a bit.
But 26 is a very
You gotta
specific.
go from like Christmas with the Cranks, Eyes Wide Shut. It's a viewing party.
How many choices? in between?
No, just that's it. You go from like them fighting over hams to like them fighting over hams. You know what I mean?
You know, at the end of the day, we're all just people.
Oh, we gotta get out.
Yeah.
How do we get out of this? Hey, Delman told me to stop talking about Illuminati so we don't die. So
Yeah, we had to really cut the screens. They were starting to zone in and log in, and
you notice how that car
I got a
alarm?
notification.
That car alarm started right when we started talking about Illuminati.
Yeah.
They're trying to get us. They're trying to bring us down.
They're bringing us
They're
down.
bringing us down. Hey, do you have a fondue this week?
I'm fondue of the fact that I got to show you
Oh.
one of the first California missions you've ever seen. Now, I don't know why you didn't learn about these
Why don't
missions.
you tell? Okay, we went to Santa Barbara for the weekend because our friends had a co-ed baby shower,
Yeah.
and we thought that sounds like a horrible idea going there and then coming back in
Yeah.
the same day. So why not, stay in a hotel and make a nice weekend out of it?
We used some points. We got a room. And
such a dad move. We used some points. Got a
points.
for
Did
free,
not stay in
by
the
the
group
way.
Airbnb. Was not when they said how much ahead and we're drawing sticks for pull-out beds. I'm like, no, thank you. I have points.
You're just too old for like a group Airbnb, I think.
It just like it's so funny. Like, and I think it's just that is the beauty of therapy is like learning the things you want to do and don't want to do and being okay with them. Because when they pitched the idea of like 14 of us in an Airbnb and drawing sticks for, I was like, I'm gonna stop you right there. You know,
I don't want to do that.
I have some points, and
just
I'm gonna use them.
up.
Yeah. And so we had a nice little stay, and it was very nice. And then on the way home, it was a beautiful day, and I was like, "Hey, should we go to?"
You didn't even say, "Should we?"
No. Oh,
you just started driving. You did.
Maybe I wasn't even. I was just. I need to go, bro. I need to see this.
You just
one
started
more time.
driving, and I was like, "Where the hell are we going?" And you're like, "Wait for it." And I was like,
"Well,
right.
You've only gone to Santa Barbara to see like the State Street
Sure.
and then our friend's parents' house.
Sure.
Like so.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm like, I gotta show her what Hunapara laid with his own hands, with the help of a lot of Native Americans that he was trying to convert over. No, but weirdly enough, for whatever reason, we didn't go on many family vacations as kids.
Yeah. Wait. So you took me to the Santa Barbara.
Yeah, I took
mission.
you to the old Santa Barbara mission.
Yeah,
that was built
beautiful
in the 1870s. No, 17. It was built
going.
before this was a country. So 1740s, 20s.
You didn't pay attention.
I read the sign. It kind of goes in and out. He was around. It's one of the oldest buildings. I believe it was 1762.
Okay, great. Good. Way more precise.
Yeah. And so they built Santa Barbara. He actually created the city of Santa Barbara.
Wow.
The whole thing is this beautiful big church, and it's all built out of adobe. And
it's
beautiful.
Amazing. Yeah, it's really cool to see. I've never been there.
Older
obviously.
than this country of America. And we don't have a lot of old buildings. I mean, if you're listening in another country, you're probably like, what are they talking about?
We don't have any. We have hardly any old buildings.
But it's a beautiful old church overlooking the ocean, and it's my favorite of the missions. Weirdly,
which is weird that you have a favorite mission.
It's weird that you don't. So no,
I don't think it is.
Well, if you were raised in Southern California, at least, I don't know about what you Northerners do.
Sure.
In fourth grade, they you have to, and even my aunt commented on this when she grew up in Southern California. She had to do this in fourth grade too. You have to do a project on the California missions. And so you have to learn about all of the California missions and Hunapara and what he was doing and how he got here. And then you had to build a mission out of a
lot of people did
food
this,
or styrofoam or whatever.
Food?
So I think they give you you can make it's a gingerbread one. And it's
I don't know. I don't think
ours
so.
Was, I mean, maybe I wanted to.
Yeah.
Mine was styrofoam. I stuck to the rules.
Good for you.
I did some mache on the domes. I did the Santa Barbara mission. So that's why I needed some unfinished business.
In your heart. Special place.
And I wanted to share that with you.
What is there a competition? Who does the best mission?
If you actually finally got and actually did one, a lot of kids were like, not gonna happen.
I have no food.
My mom was like, no, we're not buying that. We can barely afford. We're not doing
a diorama of the mission.
You can tell your teacher, I'm sorry, but I can't afford a $50 mission project.
Okay, so. But after that, is there a competition, or was it just cool, you made a tiny model?
I think it was a book report. I don't think it's a competition. It was more okay, that was your homework assignment. So you get an A, a B, a C, or a D, or an E, or you didn't do it, and I'm not gonna punish you because you're really poor. But
or you just didn't want to do it.
No, literally, she would be like, if you're not gonna do it, you got to write an essay, and it's what?
Okay.
No, dude. Who wants to write an essay when you can?
You're right. I always did a video essay. If I could.
Exactly.
I always was like,
I got out of it.
That's got to be not a proper education. But so many times I'd be like, hey, I don't want to write this thing on Napoleon. Can I make a video about it? And they'd be like, I don't care.
Yeah. I'm just here.
I don't care.
No, but so for whatever reason, we didn't go on many family vacations when I was growing up. We went to Disney World once.
Sure.
We went to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And then we went to see all the California missions.
Why the California? There's sometimes
I don't know. I think I was like in 4th grade, and my dad's like, "This is a great opportunity to go up the coast, and also see the California
You saw
missions."
all of the California missions?
Yeah, we hit them. Sometimes 2 in a day. Just touch and take a pic and go.
Nightmare.
Get back in the car. We can maybe make it to San Juan Capistrano. Get in.
This sounds horrible.
Yeah. We also did stop at the Winchester Mystery House, though.
Well, that seems cooler than all of them combined.
And Hearst Castle. So we got them all.
How long was this road trip?
It was like 3 days.
Oh my God.
We got to go. Get in the car. We got to go. We got to get back down. We're going back.
Hammered through these places.
Take a pic. All right, we got it.
You didn't see nothing, man.
No, that's why you asked me, and I was like 1922. I got a lot going on. Oh, no, that was Hearst Castle. That one, that's Hearst Castle. It's all of it's blending together.
This sounds like a pretty
I got sick at Hearst Castle. It was so extravagant. I had never seen such extravagance. It made me feel weird, insecure.
Oh, you mean like
I was like, we got to get out of here.
This is a disgusting display of wealth.
It was too much. It was overwhelming.
Yeah, that
I was
seems
like, this is one person's, and they were like, yeah, and I was like, we got to get out of here.
I felt that way. I felt that way a lot with like all going to England and seeing like everything that we saw. I was like, this is too much for anyone to like have.
Well, it was too much because literally, like here in America, I feel like they go through so many edits and like we don't want to get sued, so we can't. So everything is like Disney-fied, like whereas in Europe they're like, that's the murder hole where they did the murders and poured the lava. You're like, oh
God, they're like they take the melted ash from there and they make them all die so they didn't get in the castle.
Yeah, and then like
I mean, I understand that like seeing opulence and then being like, ugh, this is too much for anyone to have. So that makes sense with the Hearst Castle.
Yeah.
I am so grateful that you shared one of the highlights of your childhood with me, which is the Santa Barbara mission.
Yeah. And we weren't even religious at all. Like, we're Jewish.
Yeah,
like,
that's even weirder.
Well, knock them in, knock them out.
Get in the car.
Yeah.
Put your shoes on. Keep your shoes on. Don't take them off anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We got to get in and out of this car.
Got to put on clothes. And then I remember I had a Lego guy on the window and it blew out and it was like my favorite thing. And he's like, can't stop, keep going. Like, we'll get a new one. It's a Lego.
Jeez, you remember this.
Yeah,
this
we'll get one in San Diego.
You're not going to get that favorite Lego guy.
And I never did.
No, you never did.
I gave up on Legos. I was like, if I'm going to have this much love and they're going to break.
Wow. This is why loving is such a journey. Oh no, you gotta unpack that, Cheddar.
I feel nothing.
I have a camembert. I'm trying to not make it sound like sad or dark or depressive, so I will try and say it lightly. Mm-hmm. The normal. But I've told you this, like, there's nothing weirder than like seeing all of the shows that you auditioned for now out on television and like prospering. Yeah, for sure. And being like, oh, okay. And I mean, we've been out here like a very long time. I've certainly been out here at least like, almost, oh my God, I think almost like 20 years now. So that's like a very insane thing to say. And so I've definitely had like multiple experiences with things that I've like seen on TV and been like, oh, that would have been like a total game changer. And like even last week, someone said on a YouTube comment, they were like, oh, have you seen Marvelous Miss Maisel? I think you'd like it. And I was like, seen it. Like, I have seen it. It is actually very good. The girl that does it is incredible. But I went really far in the casting process to be the lead of that show. And what a weird world that would have been entirely. In the end, it was I was too similar to Alex Borenstein. And I agree with that. So they were like, this is just two like short girls sassing at each other.
She's getting the part. That's what's happening.
And like, you're not gonna. But that's always like a weird thing, which I know you have experienced as well. It's always a weird thing to see. What's even weirder now is like reading something like I auditioned for Shrinking last year. And then seeing it and seeing like what actually happened and how the part actually manifested and being like, oh shit, there's the difference. Okay. I remember reading it, and I really read it very dramatically. I don't know why I read it. I think I was going through shit, but I read it like as like this like heavy like drama loaded, and I was like, that's crazy that Jason Segel's like being so dramatic.
Wow. Yeah.
I was like, that's wild. And then I saw it, and I was like, oh no, I read it wrong.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I think I auditioned for that a little heavy.
Yeah.
But it's weird to see.
But you never know, because when I auditioned for Mayans and booked it, which is a very dramatic show, I was thinking the opposite. I was like, I'm not gonna book this, a biker show, and then I do it, and I'm trying to be serious. I'm trying my hardest.
You were trying your hardest to be serious.
And then I send it in, and my manager goes, this is not a comedy.
And you're like,
I was not trying to be funny.
It very dramatic.
Yeah, but somehow I booked it. When I met the showrunner, he literally was like, oh, the minute I saw your audition, I was like, I want to punch that guy in the face. And I was like, So
you should put that in your Twitter bio. A very punchable face.
Is it?
No.
It's never been punched.
It's not.
I've never been in a fight.
You've never been in a fight.
Punched.
I know.
But I think, yeah, you might have just been going through something. Like, I mean, there wasn't a lot of direction. They were looking for.
Yeah, it's not even about that. It's just about like I always have like been on this journey of like, what is the journey through like not necessarily getting what you want and like and then seeing it to fruition. And I had something happen the other day, and I even told you about it, where I was like, I was just trying to avoid seeing like advertisements for the show, because it was like, you know, just disappointing. You're like, oh, that's disappointing. I didn't get
Whenever
that.
you don't get something, it follows you.
It follows you. It follows you so hardcore. And you're just, and I've had a lot of them. I can't even count how many like things I've auditioned for that I haven't gotten. But
some of them haunted you. Some of them followed you. Some of them bothered you.
So, 100%.
Yeah, and you got some of them. Yeah, you know, it's a journey. Yeah, exactly.
But this one in particular was one where I really very much wanted that, and so I was like, oh shit, like God, I really wanted to be a part of that. I love everyone attached to it. It was like, ugh, you know, it got me really good in the like, oh shits, you know, like, you know, where it's just like the ugh.
Yeah.
And I just kept like saying that like I couldn't avoid it, because every time I'd turn on the TV, there'd be an advertisement for it. Every time I'd like flip through a magazine, there'd be an advertisement. Every single social media platform was like, you know, blah, 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 blah about this show. And then I even told you, I was like, I literally took a drive to go pick up something so I could like get my mind off of something, just to like get it out of my head. And I like parked the car, and I turned around, and there's like a fucking 300-foot billboard for it, and I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Like, it is truly following me everywhere. But
I think it's just marketing, and they know that.
No shit, for sure. But I in particular was like, it's really hammering me today.
If it makes you feel any better, I think there's so many people on my timeline that are pretending to work on that show. So, because I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, they don't like. My friend has a picture with this group, and it's like, we're the writers of the show. And I know she's a writer.
Totally.
And then another guy that I know is not a writer is like, the writers and I. And you're like, wait,
who's
what?
writing this show?
Yeah. And then Jason Segel posts his own picture with none of those people. And he's like, the writers. And I'm like, guys. And then our friend who was on the show didn't get invited to the premiere.
That's true.
But then other people that weren't on the show were at the premiere, and they're like, love being a part of this.
Look,
and I'm like, what part of being at the
I'm just going to say I was in it. No,
I'm in it.
I'm in it.
I'm Jason Segel.
I'm Jason Segel. I'm Jason Segel. No, that one really wasn't that.
That one
There's
sucks.
been a bunch of other ones that have been just as harsh, if not harsher. I guess my journey is like, I was like, oh, maybe I should just open it up to the internet and be like, how do you get over disappointment? How do you redirect your emotions of disappointment? And also, do you ever? And is it okay to just be like, oh, I'm just disappointed and that sucks? That's my camembert of the week of like finding something that you're like, I wish I could be the person that's like, on to the next one, and like, you know, it wasn't meant for me.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm like, oh, shit, that sucks. But I don't know if I really don't know if anyone actually is the on to the next one type of person. Or
well,
if they just pretend to be.
I think it's a choice. I think
for
me personally, I've been in modes where I can't get over something, like getting cut from the Groundlings like hurt my feelings for a long time.
For sure.
And some other things in the recent past have hurt my feelings
for a long time.
But but for me, it's like, if I didn't get a role, that's not anything to do with me normally. It's like, and that's what I've learned. Like, it's hard. You want to take it personal, but being in a commercial world, like when I book commercials, and hearing what happens on the other end has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
It really has nothing to do with you. And your read, the problem is any actor can do it anyway. So you read it wrong. They could have easily been like, do it like this, but they were already going to give your role to Heidi Gardner, who's like a friend of yours. And that's how it works.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I also like, I mean, I know that I know it's different.
So for me, it's like the only way I get through it is by really rationalizing it and going, okay, I'm obviously not a big star. So they're going to go with that. And I'm not perfect for this part, and I need to do more, and I need to create, because that's what I want to do. I want to do this sort of stuff. So the more I can show my voice and show who I am and get on the radars and actually do this for me and get more confident, and I don't know, that's how it's going to work for me.
Yeah, and again, I don't need the solution to it. Yeah. I just need more along the lines of like, I really was like, oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What I felt more than anything was I was like, I'm sure that I'm not the only person that has like dealt with horrendous disappointment.
You're allowed to.
And I was like, I really want like tools. I want like what everyone else like has, because I know that people have had 100% way bigger disappointments than just like not getting to be a little part of a whatever, you know? And so I really was like, oh, I should probably just open that up to the world of the internet and be like, hey, how do you get over this, or how do you like look through a different lens of life and be like, wow, this is different and it surpassed me for a reason, and all those different
Therapy's helped me a lot.
No shit.
But it gives me tools that work specifically for me. And also, like, when something like that happens, I don't beat myself up, but it inspires me now to try a different way and to try a new approach. And then also, I don't take it personal, and I focus on all the good things. Like, I come home to you and the dogs and our house, and we're making a podcast now, and think like, I don't know. I know my day will come and I'm having a good time. That really hurt my feelings, and that sucks. But that's how I do it. I'm not saying that's how you should do it.
Well, and again, I mean, it's not just about that.
And then I just drink a bunch and cry.
Sure. That's mainly the thing. No, it's not, again, less about like how this exact thing can be solved, and more about like, oh yeah, what do you do when disappointment rears its ugly head? And I know that it is like really weird and specific in this world. Is very interesting, just because I remember years ago I auditioned for something that I tested for it, which is like through the process, people don't necessarily know this, but like you audition and then you get a call back, and then you get like another call back, and it's all just chipping away at. You
made it to the end.
I made it to the very. It was like network testing. I tested for this show. It was like
the cast is there.
The cast is ready.
You.
It's like me and this other girl, and I even like I'd had so many testings that I literally just congratulated her like before I auditioned. I was like, congratulations, you're gonna get it, because if I know me, it's not, you know.
Yeah.
And literally, I remember she got it, and then years ago, I talked to like someone that was in casting, and they were like, oh, I remember that was so weird, she had brown hair, and I was like, oh,
they're like, she looked like the guy.
They're like, she looked like the guy, and she had brown hair and you had blonde hair, and I was like, I'll shave my head and don a wig.
Yeah, it's so weird.
But I mean, you know, I don't know.
And then even more crazy, that was something that you were sad that you didn't get, and it never went to air.
Oh, it never saw the light of day.
It was cast with a good cast, and they filmed it, and it just was done.
Yeah.
And it's just like that girl is now living the same
trajectory
nightmare you were living, except she made it one level further.
Yeah.
You know, like,
she's like, no, I actually touched it.
And the worst part about it is, well, not for that, but for other people, is like they negotiate your contract before like the show becomes a thing. So, you know, like I could have been making $35,000
so
an
weird.
episode.
It's like the weirdest.
Yeah.
It is like a life-changing thing that you're just like, I guess that's just
one season of
at this edge of the table that you're like, I hope that happens to me.
Yeah.
But I think it was more along the lines of just being like, everyone has way bigger fish to fry. I know that about the world, but I know that other people have dealt with disappointment, and I'm sure that they have solutions.
Yeah.
So I think that's very nice.
Great. We'll get
and that's my camembert. Also, doctors. If we could just ease up on the advertising with a lot of these shows.
Yeah.
I would just much appreciated. We don't all need to see a million billboards and advertisement. I get it. We'll watch it eventually, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No,
I don't really care.
I get it. I've had that with many shows as well.
I know.
But you know, I'm sure, I guess the only difference is like, because I have friends that have like not gotten interviews and stuff, and they're really bummed about a job,
Sure,
and
totally.
like we'll go out and grab beers. But I guess the difference is like only your mind is playing tricks on you in that situation, whereas like you're not like at the bar and then there's like a bus that goes by and it's the guy that got your job and he's just like, fuck you, man.
He's like, eat shit, dude. And
I'm a lawyer, not
man.
you. yeah.
Well, she's a redhead, so I get it.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, so
all right.
I guess that's the only part is like you see it everywhere and you're like, that could have been me.
Yeah, that's the difficulty.
But that's a classic Hollywood story.
Like imagine if just like constantly getting on your emails, they're like, hey, remember that job you didn't get?
But that's when I turn into my dad and I'm like, well, hey, they don't have a podcast,
Okay,
and they
listen, Dad.
and they don't have a loving marriage.
Okay,
they might have gotten the show, but they're still.
I don't know if any of that's true.
I'm just letting you know.
Okay,
they bicker.
I don't need a solution. I just need to talk about it.
All right, well, let's go on a walk. Yeah.
I think we can dive into a melting pot.
Yeah, let's
do you think we can dive into a melting pot? Okay.
This whole episode has been a melting pot.
It's been a melting pot.
We took the format and we just melted it.
I just want to...
It's because it's daytime.
It is. I really think it is. We had a lot of really good advice of what to like. Someone pointed out like we should do a rapid fire and then call it agree. Oh, no. And call it agree or disagree. Which I think is really fun.
Yeah.
I could be like, 21 should be the legal drinking age. Agree? Disagree?
Disagree.
Whoa.
In Europe, it's 18. I think that's fine.
Okay.
If you can vote.
If you can go to war, you can drink.
Yeah, exactly. That's what, dude, right there. Or
Done.
bring the war age up.
Yeah, war age, pop it up.
What are we the pop of the
pop
boopy?
up the boopy, huh?
Yeah, let us drink the soupy.
Yeah, you're going to want to pop that up, huh?
Yeah.
Swimming in the ocean is better than swimming in a public pool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Agree?
Agree.
Okay.
Yeah, the ocean is nature's pool.
Television is the leading cause of violence in today's society.
Disagree. I think it's religion.
Wow!
And then TV.
This has been a great new segment. I love that. Yeah. That's just a little touch.
You got more? I'm hot.
I know you're ready. Cheddar's ready and hot and ready to go. I just realized that I put a thing on Instagram for questions, which I always do, and I always get some really good ones. And I just realized that you asked me, what's your favorite sexy part of Delman?
Yes. I asked you that.
You did.
Go on.
I mean, probably a lot of things. I mean, you got great hands. They're nice and big like catcher's mitts.
Okay. Not normally said when describing sexy. He had catcher's mitts for hands. He could catch a baseball with his bare hand.
Tenderly, he grazed her back with his catcher's mitt hands.
Yeah. He shook my hand and engulfed it.
Wow. And my entire hand went inside of his hand. Only the wrists exposed.
He wears bracelets for rings.
That's boo! Look, I mean, I'm already into it. I'll write it.
That's weird.
I've been reading a lot.
I don't like that.
There's a lot of parts of you.
If
you want me to get intimate, I can, but I don't think you want the world to know. Like all these different. You said what are your favorite sexy parts of Delman?
I mean, it was more of like a joke for you and me. I'm sure there'd be other comments, but if you put it out there, I'm gonna respond. And
you have beautiful eyes. They're sensual. You have gorgeous hands.
Yeah.
Great kneecaps. I mean, the kneecaps on this guy.
They're good.
The thickest, juiciest little thighs. So good. See, this is gonna be edited out. But
you talk to me you talk about me like I'm food.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's just for me to unpack, though.
It's not even sexy. It's like, oh wow,
delicious,
very buttery, a beautiful, thick, watery hand.
I've just been reading a lot of
sauteed.
stuff. Sauteed mushroom fingers.
Yeah.
You're like,
2 minutes on each side. What is
Wait
happening?
a minute. Yeah, sure.
All right. Well,
it's
why
a
don't you
fine
get
line.
into some real stuff?
I'll get into some real stuff. I'm sorry. You asked the question. I thought maybe you'd want the answer, you know?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, this is a real treat. And I really I want to say that this is a real treat. I was sent this in a Twitter DM and someone said, hey, I think you should talk about this on the podcast. And oh boy, what a great idea. And so I'm going to read you a little something, Del.
Yes.
And just get your opinion on it.
Okay,
Would you mind?
I'd love it.
Okay, wonderful. It's a Reddit post, and it's actually gone a tiny bit viral, I think. If you think in the world of viral numbers, it's gone pretty far. A lot of people are commenting on it. But it's a "Am I the asshole?" or AITA in a.
Oh, is
an
that what that
abbreviated-
stands?
Yeah.
I'm like Aida. Love the musical. Throw it down there. I don't
No,
get it.
it's
but
"Am I the asshole?"
Okay.
It's IATA,
All right,
by
got
the
it,
way.
got it.
That's the shorthand, and it's like Aida. Am I the asshole for asking my wife to respect my title, a pilot? Okay.
I don't get it. Keep going.
I need the opinions of the average geeks and pilots on a matter involving my wife. I am completely serious and I need help. Okay. My wife and I, together for 5 years, married for 2, no kids, have an amazing, happy relationship. I can't recall a single time that we've ever argued to the point of a breakup or divorce. This issue, however, is causing me to reconsider the health of our relationship. Since my wife and I have been together, I have worked as a manager for a restaurant chain. I am an extremely passionate aviation enthusiast in my free time. I have spent thousands of dollars on flight textbooks, sim gear, and even built my own A330 setup. I have never actually flown a plane or started flight training, but I have considered it for a long time. Even though my skills are not a career, I still consider myself as adept or possibly more knowledgeable than the average pilot.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Big terms.
That being said, here's where the problem arises. My wife and I were invited to one of her male coworkers' houses for a barbecue. My wife is a senior software tech for a COVID startup. She worked there since 2020, a lucky catch after she was laid off from her previous job due to the virus. It was my first time meeting any of her now close coworkers due to COVID and working from home. I had assumed she talked about me before, but as we were cycling through introductions, I became less sure. We make our own way down the line to the host of the party, a new male hire that she has grown platonically close with. We exchange casual conversation, and Greg, the host, asked me what I do for a living. My wife chimes in with he manages insert food chain here. It certainly comes with some benefits. I'm assuming she's referring to the free food. In a voice that implied nothing was wrong with what she said. I very quickly corrected her, and I told him that I am a pilot. My wife already knows how insecure I am about my job and how much I'd rather be introduced by my hobby. I've earned the title of pilot through my 500 plus hours on sim and thousands of dollars put into my craft.
No.
I think it's incredibly disrespectful for her not to acknowledge my skills and training. Just because I don't have the title of pilot on an overpriced piece of paper doesn't mean I'm not a pilot.
It's unraveling now.
I laughed it off with Greg and told him under my breath that my wife is often forgetful, which I'm sure he realized just from working with her. Ooh. He seemed to brush it off casually. At this point, I'm fuming, but I don't go much further than exchanging some nasty glances at my wife for the rest of the night. The argument starts. She feels as if I don't deserve my title as a pilot because I am not professional. I told her she is completely insensitive to the work I've done and she will never understand what it is like to study so much. She's currently on the couch as I type this. Am I really the asshole for asking to be respected?
Lot to unpack there. I have some answers or opinions. First off, I think it's hilarious. Very fun.
Very good.
There's a lot to unpack here. So this is something that I used to do all the time when we would go to like VidCon or we'd go to like these, YouTube conventions where in my
What
mind
is something you used to do? Hold on. What is something you used to
I used to just like make up stuff about
You
who I
would
was.
troll the situation.
Yeah, not troll. I'm trying to entertain. I'm there. I'm trying to entertain myself.
Yeah.
And what I would, and it's like, this is so. A lot of people are ridiculous at these conventions.
Yeah, that's pretty consistent.
A lot of people
like
are
a lot of people
absolutely
would be narcissistic and really like me monsters. It's
exactly,
really,
and so
definitely a pool of those type of people.
Yeah, so I mean that's literally how some of the things I made in the past came about, is like interviewing people, like Between Two Ferns or something like that, where it's like it's in anyways. So I understand like the Nathan Fielder approach of like
totally.
Of like, this is hilarious, and so part of me is like, I would love the awkwardness of that if I knew I was never gonna meet these people again and it didn't matter to you.
Yes,
but because this person's not a comedian who's doing it in that way, and also these people obviously mean something to his wife, and that's when it's like, okay, if they're gonna meet you again or whatever, you can't just say you're a pilot.
You can't just say you're a pilot.
So, as an amateur pilot myself,
wait,
I've logged hours and I love flight sim.
That's why I wanted to talk about it, because I know that you have logged like hours in the flight simulator.
And I also would love to like get a license for flying at some point. I understand that is not in my cards right now. That's not in my budget right now. But I'm not a pilot by any means.
One of our friends, he like has like an entire like flight simulator.
Oh yeah. And I think he could have some skills in an emergency situation.
Sure.
But the difference is, in anything, it's not about the fake. There is a difference. And I think that's what a lot of like these drone pilots were experiencing. Like a lot of them would have PTSD because it feels like a video game. And then when they realize there's a big difference between doing something and doing something behind the veil. Yeah,
physical, and then doing something.
Like doing stand-up as a person on a stage in front of humans. Even if you've practiced your routine a million times.
Sure.
It's different. And every single time it's different. Being a pilot, you have to deal with the wind. You have to deal with the idea that if you don't land the plane, things will happen. Die. Yeah, exactly. It's a life or death situation. And if you become a commercial pilot, it's even more so. Yeah. So what I'm saying is awesome that you have so many hours. How many crashes in those hours? Like how many landing? But also it's like, it's different in real life. So if my advice to that person would be like, you're the asshole right now, but if you want to easily win this conversation, just go get lessons. And
just
because
go
you can
become
just
a pilot.
Yeah, you could just,
I love that he's like some overpriced piece of paper.
As he's already put thousands into the fake thing.
Yeah, how much is your hours worth? How many
No, it's going to be
it
expensive to finally get a license, but at least you could say, I'm training to be a pilot.
At least, maybe it's training to be a pilot.
Or he could come up with something really weird and just be like, I'm a virtual pilot. And people will be like, I don't even know what that is. But
I don't even know.
You can't be a pilot.
I do love, though. My favorite bit was literally like, if we were at a party and we were talking, it was like, oh, this is my husband, Delman. He's an actor, writer, comedian. Yeah. And you later went up to him and were like, my wife is very forgetful. Yeah. I'm actually a pilot. Yeah. I think they in particular would be like, that person.
Yeah, I don't think that helps your.
They'd be like, oh, he's not a pilot. He's a maniac. That's okay.
Well, that is sadly Hollywood. Like you could literally be like, hey, this is a busboy. And he's like, actually, I'm a director, writer, actor.
That is Hollywood.
But he's never done any of those things. No, but I am. You know, it's like, so I get, and that's the other problem. Like I've been, where again I wasn't telling people I was an actor, and then something happens and they're like, you have to admit, like, and it's like, it's such a weird, because we live in this weird city where someone's like, you have to say what you want to be to manifest
people always talk about manifesting it.
I'm a doctor.
I'm a pilot.
Yeah.
I just
see that's a problem at a certain point. It's
I mean, it certainly
when you need
is
an actual doctor or a pilot. No one's ever like, we need an actor. It's like,
forsooth, I did say to ye.
For I have already learned the script.
This is a monologue from a nice little movie called Home Alone.
Please show me my mark. Lights. It's like no world.
Out of here.
I mean, maybe.
Sure.
It would be like something as insane, you know. But at that point, it's like, we need an actor to pretend to go undercover.
They're like, wait, the show must go on. Is anyone in the audience an actor?
Anybody else? Anyone?
No, seriously, anyone else? This guy's way too excited to do it. Look, I'm just sad that I've never introduced you as a pilot, even though I do know that you amateur pilot.
Listen, I know how to tilt a yoke, so.
I'm assuming that's a terminology that everyone's going to be on board with.
So I know.
Look, I have no advice. I will say.
I think that's funny. I think it's.
Am I the asshole? Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
I'm
sadly.
sorry. Especially because, not for nothing, but I have often said one of the I think one of the holds of why our marriage works so well is because there hasn't been anything that you've devoted like thousands of hours to, like no shade to like fantasy football or anything like that, but like that is it's a time sucker. I think
every single like woman married to a man it's like, I just wish it made money with the amount of hours they're putting in.
That is a lot of our friends that have fantasy football. He won
$40
they're like,
last year.
You know, it's a lot of time. And every Sunday I have to watch the football. And you're like, yeah, I bet that would be a bit of a journey. So I would say blessings to this woman who literally was like, hey, spend your 500 hours doing your pilot hobby. The biggest thing that he said was, he was like, I'm already insecure about my job, and that is like the crux of all of it. That's the whole thing. That's the reason why he's like losing his mind about the pilot.
We need to what are you
it's
insecure
his insecurity about it.
No, if it's a good job, like it probably is, to be the general manager of a chain, and you're probably making six figures and doing okay, then you should either be proud of that, and if you're not, then you should figure out how to parlay that into something you are proud of. But even if he's still the general manager, but he's taking flight classes on the weekends, I would then say he could say he was a pilot.
Yeah, so you're training to be a pilot.
Yeah, or just be that's it. Or just say like, I'm a sport pilot, amateur pilot. There's so many ways around it.
Look, in the future,
virtual pilot.
I will tell people that you're a virtual pilot.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
I'm a third dimension linear virtual pilot. But I can't promise that I'm going to remember that. I only fly vintage planes. Stop with camel.
This is my husband, Delman. He's a third dimension linear pilot, but he only flies vintage planes.
Yeah, in VR.
In VR?
Yeah.
And they're like, cool, man. All right.
Would you rather be stuck on a broken ski lift or stuck in a broken elevator?
Oh my God, Oh my God, no, I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, the ski lift is terrifying because of dropping and plunging to your death.
And it's cold.
And I've seen the way that they like, because I remember being on a broken ski lift, but like it got to the point where I could jump down off of the ski lift. But everyone else, they like throw a rope up and then they give you this little baby chair that you're supposed to like sit on as they pull you down. That's terrifying.
Yep.
But a broken elevator, you could always slam to your death.
Yep. And also they always make you go through like the half.
Oh my God, yeah. And you could absolutely die.
And if you're stuck with like a bunch of people.
That's the biggest thing. Yeah. And like also days, like weeks. Is there a pee corner? This is a nightmare. Yeah. Oh my God.
Stinky people, crazy people.
Stinky people, weird food.
I think I'd do ski lift.
Ski lift. Yeah. At least I'm out in nature.
Yeah.
Ski lift.
Yeah.
Done.
I think every time I'm in an elevator, I'm like, I hope right now this doesn't.
We have been there.
If I was alone, I think I'd be okay.
Sure.
But if there was, or you, that'd be okay. But if there was like multiple strangers and I have to do the small talk thing and tell them that I'm not an actor but a web designer, I'm a pilot. I'm a pilot.
It's not going to be the hours spent in there. It's just going to be the fact that Delman has to do small talk.
All right, guys. I lied. I'm an actor.
We're on hour 15. I feel like I got to tell you the truth.
I've been in a few commercials. I have a podcast. Nightmare. Let me pull up the podcast.
Would you like me to deliver a monologue
We're going to start at episode 1. All right.
Okay. That feels good. I got that off my chest.
Yeah. Do you guys like Romeo and Juliet?
They're like, no, God, please save us from this.
All right, can I get a one-word suggestion?
No! Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Favorite Cheese.
Thank you.
Stay cozy.
Stay cozy.
That's what you liked as a sign-up, right? You're like, stay cozy.
It felt right.
I also like see you curds later.
Oh, yeah. But then there's a whole type of people called Kurds, so that's weird.
Wait, there are?
From Kurdistan.
Oh, yeah. A lot of you are asking how you can support this endeavor, and right now we are figuring all of that out and the best platform for it. For the meantime, we just want to provide fun content and give you the best laughs that we can.
Yeah.
Also, you can support by sending us questions and hypotheticals, if you will. And yeah, we'll get to figuring all that out sooner than later. And if you have suggestions, we are happy to take them.
No, they're great. Someone just said, hey, stop putting red borders around your videos because I think I had already seen them. And I'm like, great note.
That's a really good note.
Yes,
this is a family endeavor, baby.
Yeah, we're figuring it out.
We're figuring it out.